Hello, hello. Here we are. I'm excited and ready. I do want to say hello right away to all the women who signed up and joined, and then the ones who are checking out the Facebook Live. So, if you are here and tuning in, I want to say hello and see where you're from. I know that through the Facebook group, you have to allow some settings for StreamYard so you can comment. So do that at the top in the post. It should explain that. So I just want to say that right away. But let's come into this space. Let's take a big breath together. And another one, breathing in and letting it out. I invite you to just take some breath. Come into your body. Come into this space from the day, from the week, from everywhere else you've been, letting yourself arrive in this moment and in this space together. And I want to ask as we give it a couple minutes as they keep popping in. I see there's a few of you here. There's a couple live and a couple in the group here. What's your intention? I want you to connect back as you come in, breathing into this space. Why did you want to catch this masterclass? Why did you say yes? Why did you make time? Why did you sit down? Why did you tune in right now? I want you to reflect on that and drop it in the chat box. Let me hear what brought you here. I want to know what it is that made you say yes. Because it's kind of hard, especially with free events, that sometimes we don't actually make it. Sometimes we sign up, but then we don't follow through. That is a very common thing. So I'd love to hear from you. What brought you here? First chat I see is define my worth. Yes. Yeah, because, it takes a long time for us to remember and to focus. And even through all the ups and downs of life, we go up and down with our worthiness, our good enough. So what parts of you are like really hoping to like maybe set boundaries, or like what is it that brought you here? So I am going to be starting the slideshow here soon, but I wanted to just give you a moment to get into this space. So, all right. So let's get this started. So welcome to the Breaking the Cycles Masterclass. This is where I want you to come back home to your body. That's why right away I came in with, hey, let's breathe, let's get into this space. Some intention, some other wonderful women here are, I'm holding myself accountable to being my authentic self. Yes, we're going to dig into that about holding yourself accountable and boundaries with others and with ourselves. And another one says that to confirm that I'm getting the same spiritual thoughts when it comes to healing, and to also support others in the community. Yeah, we need a group. We need everyone. It's not just one. It's all of us. We're doing this together. So beautiful to have you all here. So as more of you come in, I just want to remind you to take some breaths, come into this space, and come into your body. It's time that you get to remember who you are. And we get to build up your self-trust, your good enoughness, your worth, and your just confidence in who you are in being your authentic self. Sometimes we get stuck in suffering, and we forget that we really do deserve to be happy in all areas, in our body, in our life, our relationships, our jobs, just in all of us. We get to choose and create something more than what the collective thinks. There's these stories and these ideas around how things should be. And I'm here to change that. I'm here to remind you that you have the choice here. Like, you get to be the one to make the changes, to break the cycles, even if it's a generational curse and pain that has been passed on from generation to generation. We get to be the ones. I always say, like, it's us that are finally the ones that are waking up and doing the healing work. So I'm celebrating you for being here and being interested in doing that and holding yourself to that. So congrats. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. So let's get ready. Set your space. I want you to make sure you're somewhere that you're not distracted, where you can stay in this for about an hour. It could go sooner, it could go a little later. I try to keep it in the time frame. And maybe light a candle, light some incense, like create your sacred space. If you've seen right before here, I brought out some of my crystals, my tarot cards, and my little emblems. Just invite in some of my guides and lit my candle. Let just create your space. We all deserve to have a sacred space for ourselves. If you don't do it every single day at home in the morning, like we really need to be doing, at least try to do it throughout the week or as often as you can. So right now, make sure you have water handy, make sure you have journal and pen, and let's dig in. So by the end of the day, I have a few things I want to share with you. I want to let you know about myself and how I got here. I want you to get more comfortable with who I am, what I'm doing, and why I share about this. And then I'm going to talk about feminine embodiment because I signed up to be a feminine embodiment coach before I even knew what it was. I followed my intuition. I said, I know I need to do it. So yes, I'm in. And that was a big jump of faith. That was thousands of dollars of commitment. I'm just like, yep, I know I had to do this. So I want you to learn the simple practice about listening to your body, trusting your intuition, and then letting yourself kind of express any emotions or things that have been brought up lately. And then we're going to talk about some steps to self-trust, specifically, especially boundaries, and how to break the cycles that are keeping us kind of stuck or trapped in the same patterns, or we're seeing ourselves kind of repeat things that our family does. So why am I here and who am I? I'm Chelsea Wildfire, if you don't know who I am. I am a feminine embodiment coach, a soul guide, and a fearless leader. I'm inspiring our global movement of women to ignite their inner flame, reclaim their power, love themselves more, and break repeating patterns. I truly believe that life is all about cycles and patterns, like see this spiral here. We can either learn from it and evolve, or we can stay stuck in it and keep spiraling down and staying stuck and going down, down, down. I know we all have the strength and the power to go up, but sometimes we need somebody else to kind of uplift us, fan our flame, and be there with us to get through it. So, how did I get here? I'm just going to give you a quick little story about, who I am. I didn't always start strong. Like some people have said, like they thought I just kind of had things handed to me, or I was just like this. Like, no, I lost my dad when I was young. I had an abusive stepfather and then another one that just came and went and took everything from us. We lost the house. There was a lot of abandonment. There was a lot of mental, emotional abuse, a little bit of physical, sexual abuse. There was a lot of shame and judgment put on me really young. I grew up with big boobs. I was one of the few white girls by a reservation. I got in a lot of fights. I hated myself. I didn't want to live. I had used self-harm to just get through. I couldn't really just see the light. I was really stuck in my dark night of the soul when I was young. And then my lack of worth, the only way of getting love was through sex or through getting attention in an unhealthy way. And then I went into toxic relationships and attracting and settling for people who just proved to me the same story I had from childhood around men and not being able to depend on them. And just it's so wild to look into inner child healing and how what we learn the first 10, 15 years of our life plays out the rest of our freaking life. And if we don't address it and process it and feel it and work through it, it's just going to keep happening. So that's why I'm here, is because I have this passion to help women get through that. Like, we don't have to keep repeating the same cycles. We don't have to keep doing the same things we've been doing, our mom's been doing, our grandma, anybody, okay? I'm so happy you're here. So, from someone who is your childhood best friend, I love seeing how you've grown and you inspire me to want to be better. Thank you for being here. Yeah, you were literally my childhood best friend. So having you here and seeing and witnessing and, not judging, but being inspired and happy by who I am and what I've grown to. If I wouldn't have gotten out of that town when I did, I would not be who I am. So I'm grateful every day that when I was 13, I moved out of that small town. So, we can be whoever we want to be no matter our past. I've also shared that with some women I've been working with too about, their shame and guilt that they carry from the things they've done in their past. I have done plenty of things I am not proud of. I have done things and been places and put myself into places that were really hurtful and bad for me and the people around me. And I've had to do a lot of self-forgiveness and healing and loving myself enough to believe in my worth to shine and be the light for others. So it is a journey and it does take a lot of work, but it is possible. I hate this picture of me in the pink shirt, by the way. That was, I think, like my 18th birthday. Oh, you can just tell in the way my glow, my face, my everything is like I seriously up level. So here I am, strong and powerful as hell. And in a world of like black and white, the masculine and the feminine, I bring it together and I'm honest and I'm authentic. I find the balance between the light and the dark. A lot of the spiritual community for a while was all about being the light, was about uplifting, was about shining and kind of being more of that woo-woo kind of spiritual bypassing a lot. But I share my story a lot and the growth that I go through too and what's helped me, what hasn't, because I truly believe that we have to go to the shadow, the darkness, and embrace it, learn it, let it be there. The more we hide from it or avoid it, the harder it's going to be for us to embrace and love ourselves because we only like a certain part. We have to accept and love the whole. And breaking the cycles is the first step to really resurrecting this wild woman, to letting yourself be powerful, where she feels safe enough to show up and claim her worth and her desires. Like, those are some power stances, and I took some time to get there, and you can too. So I want to talk about embodiment. This is the truest form of self. This is your authentic self, your pure essence expressed through your way of being and moving through life. I wasn't always this free or this completely me. As somebody had stated earlier, they want to claim or find their worth. And another one who had shared about being her authentic self. We do that through embodiment. This is our own way of expressing ourselves and letting ourselves feel and flow through what sticks to us. Yes, I'm happy I got out of that town too. I see your comment there. Thank you. So embodiment is kind of an open description. It feels right to me, but creating definitions is pretty limiting. So I'll explain a little more and maybe you can create your own too. So general definitions of embodiment is using your body in movement to show and express oneself, like dancing. I think dancing is one of the truest forms of expression. I love it. And I'm talking like sober dancing, ecstatic dancing, letting yourself be seen and feeling how you can just let yourself be free. It's our truest nature where we're not hiding, we're not worried about what people are thinking, we're not in judgment, we're just being our purest energetic self. And this is guided by our breath, our body, our inner knowing, the sensations within. When I work with clients one-to-one, we do feminine embodiment coaching sessions. So these sessions consist of one-to-one over Zoom, and I drop them in to listen and find their truth, to start listening to their body. How many of you have actually like slowed down and listened to your body? How many times throughout the week do you stop and you're just like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Like checking in with yourself. I don't do it every day anymore because I'm very just in tune with her naturally. But through trauma and especially sexual trauma and abuse and pain and the things that happen to us in life, we often disassociate. We kind of leave our body. We take our energy, our soul, and kind of just come apart and we don't want to feel anymore, right? But when we become numb to not feeling the pain, we also don't get to feel the pleasure. And that is one of the best things of life, is being able to feel pleasure and enjoy being in your body and feeling safe in your body. But we have to work through that together. And yeah, I see you, a single mom of 2 toddlers and pregnant. Often forget about yourself. I tell you that being pregnant has brought my level of self-care. Like, I was already pretty good at it, but now I really have to amp it up, from more stretching, more ways of resting, and different self-care forms, to so many vitamins and water. It's like, yes, I understand even more, and I know when baby comes, it's going to be even harder, but I also know that I'm going to be very strict about like having time for me and still nurturing myself. And that's why I'm here to share with women that we have to come back to ourselves, whether it's being a mother and being a nurturer, or somebody who works somewhere who just takes care of everybody else constantly. We have to start getting into our body and listening to it before it yells at us and screams at us, and then we become sick or have a disease. And that's because our body needs more nourishment and time and attention. So we can stop those things by connecting and listening to our body and our intuition. So embodiment is a way of being. To be embodied, one must really be grounded in their sense of self and their physical body. There's a level of sensitivity and awareness that is really needed to understand this and let it guide you. So that's why I teach and show others what it's like. Yeah, the body's screaming at me. Yes, the body often screams at you because it needs more nourishment and time and slowing down. Like, stretch, listen to it. Pretty soon here we're going to do a drop-in so you can listen to it and listen to its whispers versus its screams. And then that's where we can learn how to make body-based decisions of yes or no. And I'm working with a client right now around boundaries, and her task right now is to take time before she actually says yes or no to something, and that to drop in, to let her body answer before her mind that always wants to people please. So we'll go into that soon. But it's really important to let the body lead the way so that it's not screaming at us and then falling apart. So we're going to drop in quick. Wherever you are, as long as it's somewhere quiet where you won't be distracted, or I want you to close your eyes. Maybe roll the shoulders out, roll the neck out. Slow down. Place a hand on the heart, connecting to your breath, and another hand on your womb space, on the lower abdomen, your intuition, your sacred seed. And let yourself slow down for a moment. What does it feel like to just close your eyes? Feel the warmth or the coldness of your hands on your skin or your clothes. Taking some breaths. Letting the body get heavier. Settling deep into the hips. Connecting down to the floor. And whatever support is beneath you, the chair, the cushion, the bed. What does it feel like to really slow down and settle in? Notice if you're tense or tight in the shoulders or the jaw. Notice if maybe your back can relax a little more, or the legs can let go just a little more. Where can you breathe? And bring your attention to deeper into your body. Breathing all the way down through the chest space and allowing your heart space to open up to the front, to the back, to the left side and to the right side. What's it like to be here? To explore your own heart, to explore your own body. And breathing even deeper into the body, down into the left hip. And down into the right hip. And waking up this pelvic bowl, your womb space, the seat of your intuition, your gut instinct, your superpower. And asking your body, what do you really need from me right now? Not searching for any answers, but just noticing what arises. How do you feel? What sensations are in your body right now? What do you truly need? Then asking, what is being stored here? What is stuck in my body that's really weighing me down? Is it something you consciously know of already? Or is there something heavier? Maybe there's a tightness on your back or knots in your stomach. What sensations are you feeling? And let that just be a sign, a flag of, hey, pay me some attention. And I invite you just to bring your awareness to that area of your body, of whatever it is, and asking yourself, what is this? What's beneath it? Let yourself take this time with your body to just listen and let the body tell you the truth. You can stay here for a moment, and whenever you're ready, slowly blinking your eyes open and coming back to the screen. I'd love to hear from what came up for you. What's being stored in your body? Is it something different than what you thought was there? Often I kind of find I like to connect and understand the different areas of my body that are holding different emotions. Feminine embodiment, I lead my clients through finding these spots in their bodies and letting them express it and release it and liberate themselves from holding that stuck energy. When we go through pain and abuse and trauma, we hold that in our body. We like freeze, and then it gets stuck in our body, and it weighs us down, and it's exhausting, and it's heavy, and it's also where disease and sickness comes from. So if we don't take the time to feel it, process it, move through it, it's going to weigh us down, and we're going to get stuck. So what are you feeling in your body? Oh, I'm standing in my own way. Oh, is that not the truth for so many of us? Yeah, I feel you deeply there. You know that meme where the kid is literally holding the boot on its head? That is often the case for so many people, that we stand in our own way. We hold ourselves back. We get stuck in these stories and these beliefs. And even if we know something consciously, subconsciously, and in the physical body, we haven't caught up to that yet. We haven't learned it. We haven't felt it. We haven't had space for it. And especially the inner child healing, if we haven't let our inner child feel the things that have happened and express it and grow through it and throw its temper tantrum and do what it needs to do, it's going to keep replaying that pattern. We have to let ourselves feel these things. It's not easy, but we need to do it. So to do that, to start healing, we have to really build trust with ourselves. By that little drop in, that is something you can do anytime, but that is just a reminder to get back to your body and your intuition, because often we disconnect from our body, from our intuition, our truth, our voice, because we don't trust ourselves. We've been told by plenty of other people, or mentally, emotionally abused and taken advantage of and manipulated into believing less than we deserve, or than to believing something that's not our own truth. So we have to build our trust up. We have to really let ourselves start practicing self-expression. Start letting ourselves be vulnerable, letting ourselves be honest and open up to the truth of what we're feeling and what we wished we could say, we could express, anything like that. How many of you feel like you hold yourself back from speaking your truth? And, it's accountability. We have to hold ourselves accountable while holding other people accountable. Like, no, this is not how I'm going to be treated. Like, this is what I desire. This is what I want. And I'm not going to watch Netflix for 4 hours. I'm going to do a meditation and some journaling. So another thing is that we forget to celebrate our accomplishments. So I want all of you here right now to take a second to choose one task that you can do every day. Like I had mentioned earlier, it's really important to have our own sacred space, to let ourselves have a space where we can drop into our body, where we can pull an oracle card or tarot card, or we can do some journaling, where we can just have a quiet, safe space for us to just feel, process, connect. We have to connect to ourselves. So choose one thing that you can do every day so that you can get back to you. Yes, always. Yeah, it is true. I see you there. It is always true that we are often holding ourselves back. So what is one thing you can do? Ooh, yes. So charging your worth. I've been sexually abused, and I know that has had a huge effect on me, even though I've done a lot of healing. Yeah, there's always another layer too. And it's really hard for women, especially, to charge their worth, and especially in a career or in a place where there's other men who often charge way more than women do. But it's slowly adjusting, right? Because I had just seen something that was, if you are having to say no to clients because you're overbooked, that is time to up your prices a little bit. And it's not in a way of taking advantage. It's saying what you have is really good, so you can up it, whether it's $10 or $15. And the people who know and are valuing you are going to stay and keep paying you that. Like, we can't burn out. And it's inflation right now. We have to take care of ourselves. It is more than just like surviving. We have to really honor ourselves. And so I want everyone to choose what they're going to do. Yes, doing drop-ins every day to release other people's emotions during the work you do. Yes, we had just talked about that. I'm so glad that's going to be your choice. Because that drop-in we just did, please start doing that, all of you. It's simple, it's easy. On my Break the Cycles program, that's like one of the first things I have people start getting into and practicing, and having a recording of me dropping them in until they can do it themselves too. But we have to start doing that. And then after you do that every day for a week, celebrate it. Celebrate your accomplishments. How many of you, just like you had just mentioned the massage practice, have you celebrated yourself for having your own practice, for being busy, for being, amazing at what you do? We do not celebrate ourselves enough. There's a lot of shame and guilt around celebrating ourselves. So I want you to celebrate yourself. Maybe on Fridays, I have a client that her task right now is Monday, look at her schedule and see where she can fit in self-care. And then Friday, it's okay, celebrate what you did this week. Celebrate anything, any big wins, any small wins. So what is something you can celebrate? I'd love to hear it in the chat. I am celebrating that I am slowing down with work and letting myself rest more. I'm really celebrating that I'm letting myself rest more. I stayed in bed on the couch until like noon yesterday. Celebrating that. Let me hear any wins from you. But I want to go into boundaries. To build self-trust, it really takes boundaries. And I know that word probably really is hard for some of you. I want to hear about you. Ooh, see, I don't know how to celebrate myself. Okay, well, that's your goal for this week. Take yourself out to dinner. Throw yourself a dance party for 5 minutes of like, yes, I'm doing this. I got this. It could be, like I didn't freak out this week. I didn't yell and scream at my coworker. I really wanted to. Like, find the smallest or the biggest things you can celebrate yourself for, because we deserve it and we need it. That's another way to build up our self-worth and our self-love. So I want to ask you, well, how do you feel about boundaries? What do you think of when I bring up boundaries? I did not have good boundaries. I was the worst. I had no boundaries. I had no self value to where I didn't have boundaries with others, because then I thought they would love me more. And that just led to just being wore out and getting taken advantage of. And I just look back to where I was 5, 10 years ago, and I'm like, thank you. Thank you for choosing you, for starting to set boundaries. Um, I didn't know what they were for a really long time. And there's different types, and there's mental, emotional, physical boundaries. But there's these 3 different types of boundaries that I've also swayed through. So there's rigid boundaries, where your walls are so far up, you don't trust anybody, you don't want to talk, you don't want to trust or let anybody in. So your walls are really far up, but then you feel alone because you don't want to share about yourself because you don't want to get hurt again. A lot of boundaries are protection. They are our way of valuing ourselves and our relationships. It's hard to set boundaries with other people because we're afraid, or we may think that, like, it could hurt a relationship. But boundaries are a way to show that we value this relationship, that we really want it to work. So we have to have these boundaries for ourselves and for others. So these boundaries apply to your own boundaries with yourself and to other people. But rigid is walls up, super cut off, not sharing, not helpful. And then porous. Porous means, I've also been here, that you have like no boundaries. You're oversharing, you're overworking yourself and helping other people. You're always saying yes to others. Um, it's a lack of boundaries, really. But then healthy boundaries is a nice in between. It's the nice picket fence around your house that keeps a nice border. You can still look over, talk to people, but you still have some protection. It's being able to share and open up, but also know to protect yourself too. It's a good balance. Um, mm, Not good at boundaries. Gifting or giving away deals at your business, but you wouldn't ask for things for free. So why? Yeah. Why are you giving yourself away for free? Oof. There's a difference between like trades. I do trades with people, or, different specials just here and there to help people out once in a while, but only if my cup is full. Only if I feel from a space that I can give, like this free event. I have enough energy and my cup is full to give and share and inspire others right now. I want to go do a free soul session because that is a lot of work, from all my tools to paying for the space, all of that. So it's also finding like, what are you available for and what feels good in your body that is around what you're going to do for other people. All right. So reasons we don't uphold or set boundaries. So this one's fun. It gets difficult for sure. That a lot of the times we don't even set boundaries, or because it's hard to even set it, but let alone stick to it and act on it, because we're afraid of the reactions of others. That's understandable. Like, if you've been a pushover and been doing everything for everybody else for your whole life, and you all of a sudden start saying no and standing up for yourselves, the people who have been taking advantage of that are going to get upset. And that is your sign that they are taking advantage of you, that it is to their benefit that you have no boundaries. So that means you need it even more. Another reason is people pleasing, that thinking that somebody else's feelings are more important than your own. I'm working on that with my client too, of of the, well, I don't want to be mean. I don't want them to feel this way. Like, what about you? What about how you're feeling? Why don't your feelings matter, or your energy, or your body, or anything about yourself? Why is everybody else around you more important? That's what we have to dig into. That's what we have to work on. And then feeling of having no power or strength, like, oh, I just can't, I couldn't do that. Feeling that everybody else has the power. You can take your power back by setting boundaries. Boundaries? Oof. This is a quote I want all of you to repeat and remember. By saying no to others, I'm saying yes to myself. If you have followed me, you have heard me say this. When I say no to others, I'm saying yes to myself. That is creating more time and space for you to be able to take care of yourself, and you are your number one priority. Yes, even if you have children, you still have to take care of yourself so you can take care of these children. Another reason why we don't like to set boundaries or uphold them is that we get our value from helping others. Where do you get your value from? That's a hard question. Where do you get your value from? Because I guarantee a lot of us it is by how we help others, how we help other people feel. It's often external versus internal. So we have to start valuing ourselves. We have to start taking care of ourselves. Drinking more water, taking vitamins, reading a book, like taking care of our mental, emotional, spiritual well-being so that we can have better relationships, better environments, better everything around us by taking care of ourselves. Now, another reason some people don't hold boundaries is they don't even know where to start. It's been so long, they're like, I don't even know how to do that. So sometimes we need help, and that's okay. It's okay, because to create lasting changes, to start that building of the worth, to have boundaries, to do these things, we have to take the actions necessary. This is a step already being here, learning, getting the inspiration, taking this time for yourself. And then we actually have to take more actions and keep going. It's not just a one and done. This is something you have to do over and over and over. You might fall, then you got to do it again and then again. And it has to be consistent. It can't just be one time here and there, because then people are just going to push back and take advantage anyways. But it has to be consistent, and you have to continue to do it. And then, we have to have support and guidance through it. Sometimes we need somebody outside of us that's unbiased to hold us accountable, but also to justify or validate how you're feeling, what was right or wrong or more healthy for you. Like, somebody else has to be there to support us. We are not meant to do this alone. We have to move past our comfort zone, and the only way to do that is to start taking steps and leaps outside of it to move forward. So we're not meant to do this alone at all, like I've just said. Let me share with you a little bit about what and how I've been able to come this far, and how I've been leading other women down this path through the deep healing and empowerment. I'm going to share with you about the Break the Cycles program and coaching and all of the beautiful things that I have learned over so many years and packaged it into this online course and coaching with me. So I'm excited. I'm glad you're still here. Stay, listen, hear what I do, what I share. There's a special offer for you at the end too, and I would love to have some of you there. So my Breaking the Cycles program is all online. It is available to you, and you have videos and meditations and PDFs and worksheets and stuff to actually physically do at home, homework. But you can do it when you have time, and it's available to you for life. I like that because we could have plenty of courses, but if there's not something going on in life that makes us want to go and apply these tools, we might not take it in. So the ability that if something is going hard in life and you're like, oh man, I need a little extra inspiration, I need some help with this, you can log in and watch one of these videos or do this worksheet. The ability to have it right there is super helpful. And on top of that, you can do one-on-one coaching with me. But let me just share about Breaking the Cycles. So these are the 6 modules. The first one, we really go into the death of the old self. This is where we are going into inner child healing, acknowledging the past and what stories that's created, along with the payoff for what we may get out of staying stuck in the victim, which is hard to process. But we get to release some of the layers of who we're not anymore. We get to let go of some of the shame and the pain that we're holding on to. And then we go even deeper into this inner child healing, into the mother wound and into the father wound. How many of you have one of those? Even like I have a great relationship with my mother, and a lot of father wound. But even sometimes we have to look deeper and see, like, wow, this is something I have learned, or something I need to look at that's created a belief for me. And then we have to turn our wounds into wisdom. For a lot of you who want to help others and have your own business, or taking care of others already, we have to use what we've gone through and our own wounds and let them be our power and our strength and a wisdom to share with others. That's what I've done here. And it's a beautiful feeling. Module 3 is we go into the safety within, where you get to really dig into your worth even more, to build yourself up and to find that safety in your body and the strength to keep being stronger and moving forward, and saying no to these toxic people and relationships, and hold your boundaries and grow and shine. And then module 4 is coming home. Coming home to your body even more and returning to your innocence. The returning to innocence ceremony I have in there is just one of the favorite, best ceremonies I have. It really just brings joy to my heart when I witness women going through that. And you get to come back to your purity and your light, finding forgiveness, and just, it's like a sense of relief when you get through it. And then the module 5 is about reframing who you are. Like, really, who are you? What is your authentic self? How do you feel confident in yourself? How do you trust your ability and your inner authority to say yes and no, to take control, to be powerful, and be that empowered woman? And then the last one, the juicy pleasure in receiving, that this is where you get to learn how to open up, to receive, to feel more, to let in more pleasure and money and happiness, and be a magnetic woman. That is our superpower, where we just get to sit back and receive and be taken care of and worshipped. It is juicy, and you're going to want to be there. So all these modules are available. This is the Breaking the Cycles program. But first, it starts with a 5-module foundations program, the Wildfire Foundations. So what's included with my Break the Cycles is the 5 modules of the foundational program, Wildfire Foundations, where it talks about meditation, do a self-love PDF, you learn about ceremonies and altars and bringing sacredness back to your life. And that's valued at over $13.97. And then we go, once you work through that, then we go into Break the Cycles. Then you'll have the foundational work set so that you can feel into and practice and do different videos, different worksheets, meditations, and get through this coursework, which is valued at over $6,697. Like, hours and hours of effort and time and healing all packaged together. And then private Telegram messaging, that's the app I use for messaging with my clients, always available in here for you. And then, of course, the supportive Facebook group that many of you are in, to be connected, to share your growth, your challenges, everything you need. And then all of this I have is valued at over like $9,000. And the investment is $1,297. But today's discount, what I'm doing right now, is $797. So that's only $800. It's probably take you 2 months, maybe less if you're really dedicated. And for everyone who does the pay in full price, I can give you a free one-to-one coaching call. I usually do that a week or 2 after you start the program to make sure you're still staying in there and doing the work. And then if you would like, I have additional one-to-one coaching available to put with it. But right now, this is just for the Break the Cycles online program. I do have a payment plan available. I do understand money is a struggle for some, and that is the biggest thing for women, is to invest in themselves and let themselves put money down for their own inner healing and growth. So I hear you. I feel you. Breathe. And it is possible, and I do have payment plans, and we can make this work if this is something that feels good to you. So on top of that, if you do want to do one-to-one, I'm going to add in one more client. I have a few for now already, but I do feel comfortable adding in one more client that does coaching calls with me. That'd be 2-hour-long calls a month, and then a 30-minute soul session or hour call. And that is only for one person. So if that is something you are ready and interested in, let me know. Send me a message, and we can chat about how that would work too. But let's get back to what we learned. Going back to that drop-in that we did. What does your body need? We're going into fall and winter. This is where it gets the darkest, where it gets slow, and we, have our own inner seasons, but where we have to look at our shadow side and the stuff that we haven't been addressing. Maybe there's been parts of you that knows you need some other help. Maybe you've been on your healing journey, or maybe you're just beginning, but you need some guidance. Like, I would love to be here and support you and hold you through this and guide you and show you some of the things that have helped for me. So I just want to say deep gratitude. I'd love to hear from you. What's your biggest takeaway? You can drop it in the chat, or you can message me afterwards. I just saw the comment about Module 2 had you cheer up a little bit because your dad dropped out of high school, dropped you out, and this affected your worth. You went to college for massage and reminded me that I could do it. You can do it. We have to address the wounds we have from our parents, even our siblings, from our inner child healing. If we aren't doing the work, it's going to be taking advantage of us and working us. So, any of you that are here still, I'd love to hear from you. What's your biggest takeaway? And if this Break the Cycles program is something you'd like to do, I'd love to have you. Send me a message right away after this, and let me hear from you. Like, yes, I know I need this. Let's do it. I'm in. I'm ready to pay in full and get that free coaching session. Or, I would love to know about this payment plan. The payment plan is only $287 a month for 3 months. Like, you are worth way more than $287. You can do this. You deserve it. And it's always going to be there for you to dig in and do the work. And then I get to work with you and support you through that. And that is my joy. All right, ladies. Let's get you in this program. Let's get you some support. And if you want to do the one-to-one coaching, $397 is the monthly payment for doing the one-to-one calls with me. So who's ready? I know it's going to be a big jump, and I know if you see me light up right now, I'm just thinking about all the women and all the clients that I've worked with that I get to see their transmissions, their transformation, like what they start listening to their body, how they start showing up more and expressing themselves and being their truest selves and valuing themselves more. It's time you value yourself more. And if not this course, go get a massage. Is there a deadline to sign up by? No, there's not a deadline to sign up. The discount is for just the next couple of days. So that has a deadline. And if you have questions, send me a message, and we could do like down payments or payment plans if you need. Otherwise, take the leap, send me a message, and we can get you started tonight. Let's get you in. What's the point of waiting? Because then the fear is going to get stuck, and you're going to start what ifs, and fear and anxiety. It comes to get us sometimes and holds us back. So send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. But thank you all for being here. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to hear from you. I cannot wait.